Hi students, hello, welcome to Vignan Digital Classes. Students, we have been discussing ray optics chapter. In this video, in this part of discussion, we would like to discuss about the refraction through prism. Here, in this animation, you are observing a white light incident on the prism. This is the first refracting surface of the prism. After refraction, the white light undergoes dispersion so that the light is divided into its 7 constituent colors and emergent beam has these 7 colors. This phenomena is known as refraction, and here we are observing dispersion phenomena including refraction. So here throughout this part of our discussion in this session we mainly concentrate on the refraction through prism, which shows the phenomena of dispersion. So let us see the contents that we have to discuss in this video. First one is refraction through prism. In this explanation, we will derive the expression for refractive index of the prism by using angle of prism and angle of minimum deviation. We would like to derive the expression for refractive index. Second content, expression for the refractive index of the prism, and third one is dispersion. So in this image you are observing a division of white light into its 7 constituent colors through the phenomena of dispersion. We would like to describe about the reason behind the dispersion, and then angular dispersion and dispersive power. So there are some deviations. Deviation is not same. Red color has less deviation we are observing, and deviation goes on increasing from red to violet. Violet color has more deviation. So we would like to describe about the deviation. In that deviation we have different definitions such as angular dispersion and dispersive power. Regarding to deviation, we will define and derive expressions for them. And finally, we are observing the blue color of the sky and red color of the sun. So background of these contents, you are observing the sunrise at which it appears to be red. This is the red color during the sunrise. So the sky is always appears to be blue. So what is the reason behind the appearance of blue color of the sky as well as red color for the sunset and sunrise? So these are the consequences of the dispersion phenomena and scattering of light phenomena. So we discuss about this one. So let us move on to the first content, in which we discuss the refraction through prism, followed by we will derive the expression for refractive index of the prism. Let us consider the first one, that is refraction of light through the prism. So actually this is the shape of the prism. Students, in violet color you are observing the shape of the prism. The prism has several boundaries of refracting medium. Here you are observing this is the top layer, top boundary and bottom boundary, and these two are the refracting boundaries, and behind it there is a flat boundary. So there are so many boundaries. A transparent medium under several boundaries is considered as a prism. In this prism, here these two are the refracting surfaces. These two shown are the refracting surface of the prism. Here the angle between these two refracting surfaces is known as the angle of the prism. Angle between the two refracting surfaces is angle of prism. Generally we denote the angle of the prism by the letter A. Here let us observe the refracted rays. This is the light incident from air medium onto the first refracting surface. Here this is the refracting surface which is separating air and this prism medium, and at this position light makes first refraction, and this is the second refracting surface at which light is traveling from prism to air, glass to air. So these are the two refracting surfaces, first and second, at which light is traveling from air to glass and glass to air. So out of this we consider one principal cross section. According to laws of refraction, we know that incident light, refracted light, normal drawn at point of incident lies at the same plane. So it is enough to consider one principal cross section of the prism. So let us consider one principal cross section of the prism. Let this be a principal cross section of the prism. Let ABC be any one principal cross section of the prism. This is the first refracting surface, this is the second refracting surface. Angle between these two refracting surface is the angle of the prism, let it be A. Now consider the path of light. This is the incident light from rarer medium, let it be air medium. From the rarer medium, let it be air medium, light is incident on the prism. And at this point of incidence, light undergoes first refraction. This is the refracted light ray travels through the prism. At the second refracting surface AC, the light is traveling from denser to rarer medium so that it refracted into the rarer medium. This is the light ray refracted at second refracting surface, traveled from prism to the air medium. So here let us draw two normal lines. Here this is the normal line drawn at the point of incidence on first refracting surface. Let N1, later we denote this point by N, N1N be the first normal drawn to the first refracting surface at point of incidence. Similarly, at second refracting surface, at this refracting point, normal drawn to the second refracting surface is N N2. N2N is the second normal drawn to the second refracting surface. And here we are marking the incident angle and emergent angle. Angle made by the incident ray, here this is the incident ray, blue color line shows the incident light ray. Angle made by incident light ray with normal is angle of incident side. Here this is the emergent ray. Angle made by this emergent ray from the prism with normal is angle of emergence. Let this be E. Now angle made by refracted ray. This is the refracted ray. Angle made by refracted ray with normal is R1. At second point, second refracting surface, at second refracting surface, angle made by this refracted ray with normal at second refracting surface is R2. R1, R2 are considered as the refracting angles inside the prism. Okay. Then let this intersection point of the two normals be O. ON1 is one normal, ON2 is second normal. The intersecting point of two normals is O. Let this angle be O. Angle of prism is A. And we extended the incident light ray forward. The dotted blue line shows the extended line of the incident light ray. Similarly, from the prism emergent light ray is this one. We prolong the emergent light ray backwards. With dotted blue line, the emergent light ray is extended backwards. So if there is no prism, light would have travelled along this line. Light would have travelled along this line in the absence of the prism. So this is the external line of incident light ray and this is the external line of emergent light ray. Angle between incident and emergent light ray is considered as angle of deviation. See the delta. Delta is the angle of deviation. That is the angle between the external line of incident ray and emergent ray. Now let us put the names for each one. Let this point of intersection is P and this point is Q. So the incident light ray is incident at point P. PQ is the refracted light ray and at point Q light ray is emergent. Here to derive, now we describe the description belongs to how the light ray is travelling and we indicated angle of incidence, angle of emergence, angle of refractions, angle of the prism as well as angle of deviation. We would like to derive the expression for refractive index of the prism. Let mu be the refractive index of the prism. The surrounding medium is air medium having one refractive index. We would like to derive expression for refractive index of prism in terms of angle of prism and angle of minimum deviation. So let us continue the derivation in the determination of mu value. Let us consider a quadrilateral APOQ. See the prism, select this quadrilateral. APOQ is the quadrilateral. We know that sum of the angles in quadrilateral is 180. Moreover, the normal makes 90 degrees angle at P, N2O normal makes 90 degrees angle at Q. So angles made by angle at P, that is APO, is 90. Angle at Q, that is AQO, is 90. So as these two are 90 degrees each, then remaining angle A plus O must be equal to 180. So we write it. Sum of the four angles in quadrilateral is 360. We know that. Sum of four angles in quadrilateral is 360. Out of this four, angle at P, that is angle APO, is 90. Angle AQO is 90. So 90 plus 90, 180. So that remaining sum of the two angles must be equal to 180 degrees. So angle A, that is angle of prism. Angle O, that is angle POQ. Sum of these two must be equal to 180 degrees from quadrilateral APOQ. Consider a triangle. Here in triangle OPQ, the lower triangle OPQ, look into the diagram carefully, students. I am showing it. OPQ, consider this triangle. In this triangle, any triangle, sum of the three angles must be 180. We know that. So that R1 is one angle, R2 is second angle, O is third angle. So sum of R1 plus R2 plus O, sum of these three angles is 180 degrees. So consider one more triangle. That third triangle is triangle PDQ. So that is DPQ is the third triangle. So try to resolve the triangle, that is DPQ. For this triangle, delta is external angle. So for a triangle DPQ, delta is the external angle. External angle is sum of internal angles. Here this angle is I, okay, therefore this angle is also equal to I, especially here this angle particularly this angle, students, look into it carefully. This angle, this one is I am showing as I1 minus R1, because this is I and this is R1. This angle is also equal to I. This extended line of incident ray makes I angle with PO. Okay. Then as this is R1, the remaining angle of extended ray with refracted ray, angle made by the extended line with refracted ray, this part is considered as I1 minus I minus R1. Hence this is I minus R1. As well as this angle is angle of emergence, therefore this angle, this total value is also angle of emergence. Therefore angle between the prolonged light ray QD with refracted light ray, this small angle, this is especially this angle is E minus R2, E minus R2. Therefore the two internal angles in the triangle DPQ, in the triangle DPQ, here I am representing DPQ, and we find this is I minus R1 and this is E minus R2. I shown DPQ, this is D and this is P and this is Q. We found that at P angle is I minus R1, at Q angle is E minus R2. Therefore this external angle is delta, external angle is sum of internal angles. So delta is equal to I minus R1 plus E minus R2. Let this be the equation 3. So rearranging it, we get I plus C minus of R1 plus R2. So this is the very important equation. While solving the problems, we need this expression. The deviation in case of prism, when light ray incident and refracted and emerged, incident ray, refracted ray and emergent ray. The angle between incident ray and emergent ray is angle of deviation, which is equal to I plus C minus of R1 plus R2. I is incident angle, E is the emergent angle, R1, R2 are the refracting angles. Hence, the deviation is given by I plus C minus of R1 plus R2. So let us continue the derivation. Let us equate 1 and 2. As RHS of these two equations is 180 degrees, so that LHS must be same. So LHS is equated, that is A plus O is equal to R1 plus R2 plus O. O get cancelled, then A becomes R1 plus R2. So by equating LHS of equation 1 and 2, we find A is equal to R1 plus R2. This is also very important equation. The equations which I am highlighting during the derivation are frequently used equations while solving the problems belongs to the prism. So angle of prism is sum of refracting angles R1 plus R2. Most important conclusion. So let us continue the derivation. From 3, we write, replace this R1 plus R2 is equal to A in equation 3, so that delta is equal to I plus E minus A. Then I plus E, by rearranging it, I plus E is equal to A plus delta. Sum of the angles of incidence and angle of emergence is equal to sum of angle of prism and angle of deviation. So I is the incident angle, E is the emergent angle. Sum of these two angles is equal to sum of A plus D, angle of prism and angle of deviation. Sum of these two angles is also equal to sum of these two angles. Remember this one, this is also important while solving the problems. So let us move on to the continuation of this derivation. So variation of angle of deviation. Now in previous slide we had this derivation, that is I plus E is equal to A plus delta, or delta is I plus E minus A. So delta is I plus E minus A is delta. So angle of deviation is in function of incident angle. As incident angle changes, angle of deviation also get changes. So let us draw a graph by taking angle of incidence along x-axis, angle of deviation along y-axis. At the initial angle of incidence, angle of deviation is high, and as angle of incidence increases, here you are observing at lower value of angle of incidence, angle of deviation is high. As angle of incidence increases, deviation also goes on decreasing to certain value. Beyond certain incidence, with increasing angle of incidence, angle of deviation also that increases. So this is the graph that we are observing. The minimum deviation, we are getting minimum deviation here. See, the minimum deviation is delta m. The minimum deviation is possible when angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence. So the graph shows that with increasing angle of incidence, angle of deviation goes on decreasing, at which incident angle is equal to emergent angle. Incident angle at first refracting surface, emergent angle is at second refracting surface, at which angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergent. We have minimum deviation, delta m. Deviation got its minimum value, let it be delta m. So that when angle of incident increases, see the graph and conclusions are mentioned here. When angle of incident increases, angle of deviation goes on decreasing. At particular value of angle of incidence, angle of deviation becomes minimum and is called angle of minimum deviation. At that minimum deviation from the graph, it is possible when I is equal to E. So according to Snell's law, we know that at first refracting surface, Snell's law is mu is equal to sin I divided by sin R1. At second refracting surface, same Snell's law is sin E divided by sin R2. At first refracting surface, mu is sin I by sin R1. At second refracting surface, mu is sin E by sin R2. I is equal to E, definitely sin R1 is equal to sin R2, so that R1 is equal to R2. If I is equal to E, R1 must be equal to R2 as mu is constant. Therefore, at minimum deviation, incident angle is equal to emergent angle. so that R1 is equal to R2, let it be R. Therefore, after minimum deviation, angle of deviation increases. Here, this graph shows that beyond minimum deviation, if you increases the angle of incidence, angle of deviation get increases. The refractive index of material of the prism is mu is equal to calculate that value, we know that A is equal to R1 plus R2. But for minimum deviation, R1 and R2 are equal, let it be R. Therefore, R plus R, A is equal to 2R. So that R is equal to A by 2. For minimum deviation, we get R is equal to A by 2. And second one, I plus E is equal to, here for minimum deviation, we get that one. So for minimum deviation, we get R is equal to A by 2, and we also know that I plus E is equal to A plus delta. Already we write this formula. So I is equal to E at delta M, substitute that relation. E is equal to I plus I is 2I, delta becomes delta M. From that I is equal to A plus delta M divided by 2. So at minimum deviation, for minimum deviation condition, we find out R is equal to A by 2 and I is equal to A plus delta M by 2. Substitute these two values in Snell's law. So according to Snell's law, refractive index at the first refracting surface is sin I by sin R1. As R1 is I, sin I by sin R. Replace I by this formula and R by this A by 2, so that refractive index of the prism sin of A plus delta M by 2 by sin A by 2. This is the very important expression of refractive index of prism in terms of angle of prism, angle of minimum deviation. If from the graph we find out angle of minimum deviation by drawing the angle of incidence along x-axis and deviation along y-axis, as the angle of incidence increases, angle of deviation decreases. At particular value of incidence we get minimum deviation, at which I is equal to E. From that we calculate delta M. Using delta M and angle of prism in this formula, sin of A plus delta M by 2 by sin A by 2, we find out refractive index of prism. So refraction by small angle prism for small angle of incidence. So we have so many practical situations. Let us consider rainfall. During rainfall, when light rays coming from sun passes through the water droplets, then water droplet assumed to be a substance like a prism. Then by having water as a medium, the angle of the prism of water droplet is very small, and the light rays are incident on the water drop at very small angle of incidences. So practically we have the conditions for which small angle prism as well as small angle of incidences. For these two conditions, we continue the derivation. Here we know that at first refracting surface of the prism, mu is equal to sin I by sin R1. Here for very small and second refracting surfaces, mu is equal to sin E divided by sin R2. At first refraction, mu is sin I by sin R1. At second refraction, mu is sin E by sin R2. Now for small angle of incidences, I is small, R1 is small, so that R2 is also small as well as E is small. For all small values of I, R1, E, R2, we modify the formulas. If I is assumed to be small, R1, R2 will also be very small. So replacing sign of the angles, for small angles, sign of the angle considered to be same angle. So by using that, we find out mu is equal to I by R1, sin I is I, sin R1 is R1, as well as in second case mu is E by R2, sin E equivalent to E, sin R2 equivalent to R2. For small angles of I, E, R1, R2, we get this approximation. Then I plus E, let us find out I plus E. I becomes mu R1, E becomes mu R2. Therefore, I plus E becomes mu R1 plus mu R2, mu common, mu of R1 plus R2. We know that R1 plus R2 is angle of prism, that is mu into A. Therefore, I plus E is mu A. One more expression, we know that I plus E is A plus delta. Already we derived it. A is angle of prism, delta is deviation. Any deviation, need not be minimum deviation. For any deviation, I plus E is A plus delta. Then A plus delta is I plus E. I plus E is mu A. Therefore, A plus delta is equal to I plus E, that is replaced by mu A. Then delta, bring this A to the LHS. Bring this A from LHS to RHS, find delta. So, delta is mu A. Here we find delta is equal to mu A minus A. Then A get common. So, delta is equal to A into mu minus 1. So, for small angled prism as well as for small angle of incidences, whatever the incident angle may be, but they are small in value, then deviation is given by A into mu minus 1. A is the angle of prism, which is a small value, and mu is the refractive index of the prism. Then deviation is A into mu minus 1. Here, now we discuss about dispersion of white light through the prism. We use the formula of delta is equal to A into mu minus 1 to know about the dispersion of white light through the prism. So, what is meant by dispersion means the phenomena of splitting of a ray of white light. Here this is white light. The phenomena of splitting of a white light into its constituent colors is called dispersion, and in white light the band of colors is extended from violet to red. Here you are also observing the letter with same color: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, called as Vibgyor. So, when white light is passing through the prism, due to phenomena of refraction and variation of refractive index from color to color, it gets different deviations, so that the white color after the refraction, it split up into its 7 constituent colors as Vibgyor. This splitting of white light into its constituent colors is known as Vibgyor, is known as dispersion. So, division of white light into its constituent colors, that is Vibgyor, is known as dispersion. So, we would like to know the reason behind the formation of dispersion, behind the having phenomena of dispersion. Let us consider the prism ABC. The prism, what we have been discussing in this session, already we derived the expression for refractive index, also we derived the deviation for small angle prism as delta is equal to mu minus 1 into A. Now the dispersion phenomena. Here let this be a prism and this is the screen to catch the light coming in the phenomena of dispersion. Let this be the white light. Okay. So this is the interesting thing. We incident a white light from the source and it incident on the first refracting surface AB. At this point of incidence, it undergoes the refraction so that it enters into the second medium. In this medium, different colors of the white light possess different refractive indices, so that different deviations, because of difference in the deviation of each color, it divides into its 7 colors and it falls on the screen. On the screen, we are observing the colors as shown on this image as Vibgyor, from bottom to top Vibgyor. Least wavelength color incident here, most wavelength color incident, red color incident here. Here actually when you prolong the incident light ray, it is shown by the dotted line. Then the red color deviation is delta R. Delta R has this deviation, whereas violet color shows this deviation. This is the emergent ray. Extend this emergent ray backwards to strike the incident ray. Then angle made by incident ray and emergent ray of violet color shows its deviation. This is the deviation of red color and this is the deviation of violet color. They are not equal. Red color has least deviation, violet color has most deviation. We are observing the same thing. From red to violet, in this order, we are observing there is increase in the deviation of the colors. Here this is the normal drawn to the point. Here cause of dispersion. This is the phenomena of dispersion. As white light incident on the prism, the white light divides into its 7 constituent colors as VIBGR. This phenomena of splitting of white light into its colors is known as dispersion. That's what we observe. In this animation, once again you may observe the dispersion. First we send the white light and it divides into 7 colors. This animation shows the phenomena of dispersion. Now we would like to know the cause of dispersion. Here the refractive index is given by the Snell's law, sin I by sin R. I is the angle of incidence, R is the angle of refraction. For violet color, let mu V be the refractive index of violet color. From color to color, refractive index changes. Refractive index is inversely proportional to wavelength. For violet color, mu V is sin I divided by sin RV. For red color, sin I divided by sin RR. R is the refraction, small suffix R is the red color. Here, as a refractive index is inversely proportional to wavelength, as wavelength of violet color is less, refractive index of violet is more than refractive index of red. Okay. Refractive index of violet is more than refractive index of red. So that as refractive index is more for the violet color, this refracting angle get reduces. So refracting angle is less for violet color. Violet color undergoes less refraction. So that the colors are refracted at different angles and it shows the phenomena of refraction, dispersion. So I would like to explain the phenomena of cause of dispersion with one more idea. Let us see dispersion of white light through prism. So it can also be explained on the basis of Cauchy equation. Let us consider the Cauchy equation. Refractive index and wavelength are related by this equation known as Cauchy equation. Mu is equal to A plus B by lambda square plus C by lambda power 4. So refractive index and wavelength are related by this expression, where A, B and C in the expression are considered to be constant values. Here A and B, let us consider A, B, C are constants. Then refractive index and wavelength are related in this expression. Here we know very well, red is of greatest wavelength of visible light, violet is of least wavelength of visible light. As lambda V is less than lambda R, from this expression wavelength decreases, refractive index increases. Therefore violet color wavelength is less, so that refractive index of violet color is more than refractive index of red color. But deviation is given by the formula A into mu minus 1. Of course A is the angle of prism indicated here, which is constant, but mu changes from color to color. The least wavelength violet has most refractive index, so it shows more deviation. Therefore delta V, because of this reason, as mu V is more, lambda V is less, mu V is more, so that lambda is also more. So lambda V is greater than lambda R. Deviation is more for violet color. Different colors shows different deviation. So according to this explanation, least color violet shows more deviation, more wavelength color red light shows less deviation. So because of difference in deviation, they get dispersed, so that it divides into 7 colors. This is the reason behind the dispersion phenomena. Deviation is not same. Violet colors get more deviation, red colors get less deviation. Because of more deviation, violet color intersect at this point, red color intersect at this point, it divides into 7 colors. This is the phenomena of dispersion. So that colors get separated with different angles of deviation. Violet is most deviated and red is least deviated. That is the phenomena of deviation. So here angular dispersion. Now I would like to define few important definitions regarding this one, angular dispersion. Angular dispersion is the difference in the deviation suffered by 2 colors. Suppose if you Consider red and violet. These are the two top and least wavelength colors. So least deviation and most deviated colors. Then angular dispersion is the difference in the deviation of the respective colors. Difference in the deviation of respective colors is the angular dispersion of those two colors. Difference in the deviation suffered by considered colors is the angular dispersion of those two colors. So angle between emergent rays of any two colors. So this is nothing but angle between emergent rays. Here the expression for angular dispersion is the difference in the deviations. So deviation of violet is delta V and deviation of red color is delta R. Difference in the deviations is the angular dispersion. We know that delta V, here delta V is mu into A into mu minus 1 is the formula. So mu V minus 1 and delta R is given by A into mu R minus 1. Delta R is A into mu R minus 1. Difference in deviation. We know that mu V is more as well as delta V is more. Mu R is less, delta R is less. Difference in deviation means delta V minus delta R. So subtracting delta R from delta V, we get mu V minus mu R into A. This difference is known as the angular dispersion. For any two colors, angular dispersion is difference in refractive index into angle of the prism. For violet and red colors, angular dispersion is given by this formula, mu V minus mu R into A. And dispersive power, one more definition. Dispersive power is the ratio of angular dispersion to the mean deviation. Already we defined angular dispersion as the difference in the deviation. Ratio of angular dispersion to the mean deviation. So for any two colors, the ratio of, let us consider this definition, the ratio of angular dispersion of two colors to the mean deviation produced. Ratio of angular dispersion to the mean deviation is dispersive power denoted by the letter omega. So expression for the angular dispersion, here refractive index of material of the prism is 1.5 when the prism is placed in the minimum deviation position. So here we described the, so let us continue the expression. So dispersion can also be explained by this phenomena, and we derived the expression for angular dispersion. Here students, in this part of our discussion, I explained the phenomena of refraction through prism. In that phenomena, I derived the expression for refractive index of the prism. I get mu is equal to sine of A plus dm by 2 by sine A by 2, followed by it the deviation expression for a small prism, that is mu minus 1 into A. Deviation is mu minus 1 into A. By using that, we describe the phenomena of dispersion. Division of a white light into constituent colors due to difference in deviation is known as dispersion. And followed by dispersion, we discussed about the definition of angular dispersion and dispersive power. So thank you for watching. Thank you very much.